So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm sort of an artist. I know this may come as a surprise to you, so just stay with me here for a moment. Every so often on Tumblr, I'll get different asks about what I use for my art, like what I used to draw, both digitally and non-digitally, like traditionally, pen and paper kind of thing. Yep, I don't know the word for that. It's traditional. Yeah, it's traditional. I'm totally an art major. Anyways, thanks to the request of an amazing person I know, I'm going to be going through my favorite art supplies. It's going to be like all those lifestyle vloggers who show their like July favorites, August favorites, except this is going to be the only one for a while because I'm too poor to actually actively buy more and more art supplies. So yeah. So let's start off with the program I use to draw. I personally love Paint Tool SI because it's what I learned how to draw digitally on. I just got Photoshop like for the first time, so I'm trying it out right now. But otherwise, it's a great program to like learn how to draw basically on your computer, and it's something that I still use now. I probably won't be using Photoshop until I actually learn everything, like how to make different brushes and how to make something that looks nice. So the tool that I use to draw on the computer is an Intuos tablet. It looks like this. It comes with a pen, and you draw on here, and it'll show up on the screen. It's magical, and people ask me how I don't have to look at the tablet at all. Like, I'm so used to using it that people are just like, what? I don't know how you do this. Like, you just look at the screen the entire time and you're just like drawing away. Like, how do you know where to put the pen? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I've just used it so much over the past 3 years that I don't know. Okay, so let's switch over to the traditional realm of artwork. Since I'm a digital artist, I don't really need to use like super quality sketchbooks because a lot of this is just me sketching out something with a pen. Like, I'm not super fancy when it comes to like regular artwork. Last year, the first thing I did when I got back to BYU is I went to the art section of the bookstore and I went and bought a sketchbook. Now, usually I just get the flippy kind that are nice and they're great for art classes, but I want something more personal, kind of like something I could write in as well and not feel like a weird human being for. So I got this Pentalic brand sketchbook. It's really cool. I think it's really cool. It's great for if you're just sketching with like pens or something. Like, the markers and heavy inks tend to blend through. Like you can see here, it went all the way through. But I still like it. So like I could sketch, like make different notes about drawings that I was working on at the time, and it's something really fun. I don't know. It's something that I loved. So now it comes to the drawing utensils. Normally, I just use regular pens. Sometimes I like to use different colors because it helps kind of my creative process. Next up is like a bazillion pencils. I mainly got into using these kinds of pencils because of like my different art classes. It's a required supplies item. I'd always have to go buy some for class. And I don't know, my favorite is HB because it's like super light. Super lit. I need to stop. So moving on, the last kind of like pencil variety is a charcoal pencil. I've always loved using charcoal. Like back in high school, all my pictures were done in charcoal, chalk, just anything I could really get my hands on. Sometimes it was pens as well. But you get very messy when you use charcoal. And for someone who's just like the messiest human being on the face of the planet, it's always a disaster. Usually my hands are like, and arms are covered in charcoal in my shirt most of the time. So one day, my high school teacher introduced me to charcoal pencils. My sister actually got me this for Christmas, which I'm super happy about because I haven't had it since high school. Basically, as you can see here, there's a little charcoal right here. You just draw with a pen and then you can use your smudger. Usually I just use my fingers because I haven't invested in a smudger for like forever. To like spread the charcoal, get different gradients that you want, and it works. I like it. I used to use these all the time. So thank you, Mo. Alright, so we're going back into the pen and ink variety here, and first off I have my Micron pen. These are super great for line art. They can be thick, they can be thin, like mine's a 0.5, and I found that useful for when I was sketching in my sketchbook. Something else is Sharpies. I like using Sharpies for my art projects. Like freshman year of college, I did a piece where I used watercolors and Sharpie. It's actually this one right here. Ooh. My entire class was like, what did you use to do this? They were also surprised that I just used Sharpie for that painting because they thought like I'd be pulling out some India ink and like a variety of brushes, and it's just like, no bro, does it look like I have that money? But, so just to show, Sharpies work. Despite what I said about Sharpies, I like to use these ink brush pens. I actually just got this last October because it's something that the artists like to call Inktober, where we just draw an ink drawing every single day. I made it to 5 this time, but still, I have my ink pen. It's a little brush. Oops, sorry. It's a little brush, as you can see. It just works. It's super cool. I'm gonna have to wash that off. The second to last thing I have are these Copic markers. Now, if you have been in the art world for a while, you've probably heard like a whole bunch of artists like talk about them. And I'm not usually someone who uses markers, so I like the fact that I own these are amazing in its own. These are pretty expensive. I got these for like $6 a piece, and just to my poor college student self, I was like, what are you doing? That could be used as food money or for your electricity bill. But still, these work out like super great. As far as I can tell, like I don't use these that often. I'm not a marker using person, but I like them. And so the final thing, something that every artist needs, is a little pencil bag. This is mine. I love it. It's something that I've actually had since middle school, I think. Probably since 8th grade. And it's just something I've held on to ever since because, I don't know, it's cute and small and it just takes what I need. Like we can put all of this art stuff in here and it'll all fit and it'll all be gorgeous. It's actually a bit pink because I dropped some fruit punch on it. Like I said, messy person. Yeah, that's about it. So if you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay. Art supplies aren't exactly the most interesting thing in the world for people, so I totally get it. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, you can click on the button right over here. If you'd like to go and check out my last video where I was doing 2017 resolutions, you can click on the button right over here. Yeah. Laters!